Hello. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And yeah, that's first show. Yeah, first guest. First guest. You are the first guest in 2026.
No
Man,
pressure.
this has
I'm
to
gonna
be
set the
best. No
bar
pressure.
so high. No, nobody will
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
come
yeah,
after
yeah.
me.
So Cedric, as usual, our guests always
Yeah.
introduce themselves. So we are looking forward to
Okay.
hear who is the guy with the name Cedric Maloux. Is that correct pronunciation? Maloux? I never tried that before.
I- I- If you check, it's the correct
And what about the
pronunciation.
French guys?
if you if you're
Malou.
French, you would have said Malou. No,
Okay.
you don't pronounce the X. Yeah. So, but I'm used to it. For the last 22 years, I've been called Cedric Maloux. So,
I see.
I'm
I
kind of
see.
used to it now. So it's okay. It's okay. So, yeah. So what do you want to know? I'm Cedric. I'm 57 years old, French, born in Paris. I originally I'm an engineer in AI from the very early 90s. I graduated in 91. So way before the AI winter, when we thought AI is going to be the next big thing, before it was cool even, now it's super cool to do AI. And if, everybody's doing AI, back then, all the algorithm were basically theoretical. Our machines were pretty not very powerful compared to my iPhone, and there was not a lot of data. There was no web. So that was that. And in 95, I discovered the web. And so I didn't sleep for about 6 months. And because that it just blew my head off. This concept of being able to access and knowledge and people from home, which is like mad concept for me. People who, younger generation, you were born with it. So you don't realize the shock it was for us when it appeared. Anyway, so I created my first internet company in 96. I bootstrapped it and I sold it just at the moment when the dot-com bubble exploded. So the timing was very good. And I was 33 years old and I retired because that's what you do when you're 33 years old and you just sold your company at the height of the dot-com bubble. Uh, and I got very bored. So I started, and I kind of got the bug of building companies, of turning, lines of codes into a business and making money with your fingers like this. I loved it. So I created another company and I have been now doing this since forever. It's been 30 years. I've been a startup founder. I had successes. The first company I sold it. I had failure. The second company I failed. And for the past 13 years now, I'm running Startup Yard. So that's my longest job ever. And Startup Yard is a startup accelerator. And my job is to help tech founders like I used to be, well, fully successful and to help them find clients and find investors and avoid all the mistakes that you do when you build a company. I also have a few other hats, but I don't know if you want me to talk about them. But yeah, that's kind of the short, it really depends. That's the short-ish version of who
Wow.
I am.
Okay, I have a few questions about
Is that long enough?
that. What was the first
Good.
company
Okay.
about? You
Okay.
said you
Okay.
sold.
It was what we used to call back then a community portal. So it's like Yahoo, but for a specific community, and it was a platform what would allow
Okay.
you to roll out for your
Uh-huh.
community that. So that was the very first thing, and it was all built
Uh-huh.
in Perl and Perl, and HTML. No
Oh,
CSS didn't
interesting.
exist then.
And what
Yeah,
brings you to the
yeah.
Prague? Because now you are living in Prague, like last.
That's the second startup. So the second startup was, um, I got this vision of, so we're now in 2003, and one of the hottest topic back then
Uh-huh.
is peer-to-peer technology. Casa was super successful. eDonkey was very successful. BitTorrent had not
Uh-huh.
started yet. And Skype was growing as well very, very much. And I thought that it was a very interesting the decentralization of computing was a very interesting topic. So I decided to build a startup in the peer-to-peer space. And to do it, I talked to one of my good friend, and I said, hey, I've got this idea. And he's like, oh, I love your idea.
Mm-hmm.
And he was living in Prague. So he said to me, come to Prague. The developers are cheaper than, I was living in London. So cheap
Okay.
labor, that's what took me to Prague. So
Maybe
I'm
now I start trusting your story, because usually when I ask, when I ask somebody why you are relocating to Slovakia or Czech
Yeah,
Republic,
girls.
because ladies or women,
Yeah,
and
there
you
you go.
started with this startup or the company, come on, it's official story, but now the developer are cheaper. Okay,
Cheap
looks
labor.
like a reality.
Cheap labor. And so so I took my suitcase
And
and
you
I came here. And so it's been 22 years. So I thought I would be here
uh-huh.
for like 1 or 2 years.
I had a similar
But yeah,
story. I also came to the
still
Prague for
here.
1 year
Probably.
in 2009, and I felt
Yeah,
to get back to
right.
Slovakia. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice city though. A nice place. I like it. I lived in London, I lived in Manhattan, I lived in Madrid, I lived in Paris, and honestly, Prague is probably the one, the city I
I
prefer
see. And
of
what's
all
the
of
reason?
all of them. It's a capital at the size, a human size. So I live in Prague too,
Uh-huh.
which is kind of center-ish. So I can really walk everywhere I want most of the time, unless I'm gonna need to take the airport. It's super safe. I mean, I don't like the center
Uh,
as such because there's just too many tourists. But otherwise, I like that it's quiet. I think I like Czech people. I was
mhm.
probably Czech in a previous life because I feel like I fit here. And actually, a lot of people say, "Oh, you look like a Czech." It's like, well, I don't know if I look like a Czech, but
Nice.
maybe after
Good.
so many times, so many years, I
Good.
I look like that. But yeah, so no, it's a good place. I like
Okay,
it.
so talking
It's
about the
home.
Czech Republic, or Czechia, as they say these days, maybe I will use
Mm,
it as a transition to
mm.
the hot seat, because I prepared the first one, and
Okay.
that's Czech related.
Yeah,
Okay.
and all those questions, we will see. We will see what happened, because I will start with one question is not really related, to IT or your working experience. Czech beer or French wine?
Pilsner.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Ah, okay. Okay, definitely you are in previous life you are from Czech.
Okay.
I didn't say Czech beer. I said Pilsner.
Ah, okay, okay. Okay. That's good. That's
So
right.
we
That's
will
right.
maybe move on, and there is another one. Pineapple on the founder's pizza. Is it red flag for you, or green light to decide whether these startup founders could succeed with their startups?
Neither. Not a
Okay,
criteria of selection.
let's move on.
Mm, football or ice hockey?
Neither.
Oh no, come on.
Nope. Seriously,
Whoa,
can't give a shit about
whoa,
sports.
whoa. Okay,
Ah,
okay, okay,
Whoa.
Cedric, thank you very much for your interview.
No. Bye.
you need to choose one. I was expecting it.
What do you mean I have to? Okay, so football,
Okay,
if I have to choose one.
so that was
Ah, okay.
survival,
I
a
have to, but
survival
I don't care.
answer.
Not
Okay,
interested at all.
Really? From
Yeah.
France, now living in Czech,
Yeah,
and
I know, but that's why I chose football.
okay. So
okay.
let's move on to the
Fine.
another one. Some people say that AI is hype, and my question is it overrated or underrated?
Ha.
It's been hyped for 30 years, so it's you asked me to do short answers, so I'm gonna say
Okay, so you see
underrated
the bigger potential than we
by
see.
the by the oh my
Okay.
God, it's just the beginning. Of course,
Okay.
of course. So underrated, at
Okay.
least by the general population who doesn't realize what is
Sure.
about to hit
I
them.
like it.
Okay. We will
Maybe
speak more in the main.
maybe overrated
Mhm.
in the VC industry or
Okay.
overvalued. But yeah, your question was
Yeah. And now also from my side, something more relevant.
football.
Yeah, okay. Next question. No, what do you prefer? Working remotely or in the office with your colleagues?
I've now been working remotely for 5 years versus 26 years in an office, but my work is remote. So I like to be with my office, but when I go to the office, I spend my day in a box, soundproof box to talk to
Mhm.
people. So I guess I prefer to be with my colleagues, but I'm
Remotely.
not. Yeah, I'm not.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So keeping the topic close to the startups, what startup trend you could see out there and you wish to disappear in next year?
It's gonna be a long pause. No, because I see a lot of shit, and in general, like the trends in general, not
Mhm.
Yeah.
specifically a domain, I guess. That's what,
Mhm.
not specifically a topic in general. Yeah, people who want to do a startup to be rich and to be cool, that's what annoys me and that I want to see disappear. And if we want me to develop this, what I mean by that is I want, I love working with people who want to really have an impact on other people,
Mhm.
not on themselves. And
Okay.
if you're building a startup for you, like for your
Benefits.
own, benefits, I'm not interested because you have the wrong motivation, which is financial motivation. And the best founders I know are the founders who care deeply about solving the problem that they're solving,
Mhm.
not doing some stupid app, which of course there's a lot of those.
Good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you.
So that's that. So this.
Yeah, short answer.
Difficult question.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I know. I know.
it was not easy. It was not like
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Don't worry, mine is much more easier. Yeah, that's
Football.
okay. I see now. The
You see
name
the
of the
pattern. You see
of
the
the
pattern.
episode. Football, football, football. You will know.
So let's move on. We heard that AI is now writing a code. And my question is, does this speeding up startups to fail or win?
Fail. Well, both.
Somewhat.
Both. It's that. No, but so by the way, for you too, but for the people at home, about an hour ago, there's a new article on TechCrunch that I wrote about software on demand. So it's very on purpose what we're talking about here. It's in
In
Czech,
your
in
check.
my best Czech. So you can look at it after. In my
Mm.
best Czech, yeah. So you will go faster from idea to live product. Then to success or failure, that's when the coding stops. And that's when the go-to-market starts. Okay? So all in all, it will go faster to the point where you can commercialize. Yeah. I can start, like Monday morning, I can launch a new product if I want.
Mhm.
Because it'll be depending on what it is, but because it will be built by an agent. So yeah, I saved maybe 3 months, 6 months, whatever, of development work. But having a product doesn't mean that you're going to you're going to fail or you're going to succeed. That is not a function of the product only. It's a function of your ability to convince people to use it. It's also a function of having something that people want, because you can also build a lot of product that nobody cares about and nobody wants. So you'll do that faster, right? So in a
Okay.
way, it's a faster way to iterate.
Another
Yeah,
short
I'll
answer.
bring this.
Oh, is that a hot
To the
seat?
deep.
Still, it's hot seat.
Okay, is it still hot seat? Okay.
Yes, still. And you know, I have like last question, but I guess it's already answered that I will change it probably. And you know, I would like to ask you, what is the biggest mistake or fail from your previous career? And if you will have the chance, you will change it. What is
Not
it?
manage the expectation of my investors. That's probably the biggest mistake I made. I had at one point investors who were more excited than I was, and I could see that probably I should have managed their expectation a little bit better, because when we fell, it came as more of a shock to them than us. And so they were not prepared for that. And they certainly didn't say, okay, here's a little bit more money so you can, continue. So I think that's the biggest mistake I have made. And it's one of the biggest advice I give to my founders, is to very, very well manage the expectation of investors. I'm sure there's a long list of mistakes that I've made, but that's the one that has stick with me because it's unusual, and people don't really think about that one. So that's the one.
Yeah.
Sorry, short answer.
We are done with hot seat now.
Very nice. I don't know if there are the hot seat, because if I see his face, that it looks like that he's still relaxing. That next time, we need to like be more like better prepared.
So let's move on now to the I would call it main part, and for that we would like to discuss, as you said in preparation, of course, AI, not only AI, but of course AI, startups, and quality. And I will start with something you touched during the introduction, and that was AI now and in the past. Could you go maybe a bit deeper? What changed? If something changed?
No, of course. I mean, there's, I think, three things that have changed: compute power, data, because AI is nothing without data. So access to data, and some algorithmic techniques. Like, for example, stupid example, I coded a neural network in 1990 in Lisp, but he had just had one layer. Neural network have like that. And in 2016, deep learning was invented. Deep learning is neural networks, but like with a lot of layers. So that's just one example. There are other examples that don't come to mind, but obviously the algorithm also have evolved. But when people say, "Oh, chat," well, like I would talk when you speak to the Lambda people who are not in the industry, and they say, "Oh yeah, it's new stuff." It's like, no, well, Elisa, the first chatbot, is from the 70s. Is it probably? I would have checked that. She wasn't very smart, Elisa, but she was the first chatbot. So obviously today's chatbot have nothing to do with that. So the algorithm has evolved, and the algorithm, the compute, the data, which means that today the equivalent of Elisa is super smart, is super fast, and can actually, and is multimodal, which is fascinating. So you can show with your phone, hey, look at what do you see, and tell me what is this, and you can actually talk and show to the chatbots, to the AI.
What my favorite question about this kind of theory or history is that people were talking a lot about machine learning, and I saw a lot of practical application of the machine learning maybe 6 years ago, before the era of ChatGPT. and now it's turning into
Yes.
the LLM application.
Yes.
And it looks like this take
Yes.
over or took over the world of AI, or the synonym of AI is now LLM. I don't know whether this will be in future, but my question is, do you think
Correct.
this will change in
Mhm.
the future, or that machine learning is kind of outdated already and obsolete?
Well, if you listen to Jan LeCun, LeCun, I don't know how you pronounce it, who is the former chief scientist, AI chief scientist of Meta, who has now created his own startup and is a big advocate for world models. And he's, this guy is a researcher, he's a scientist. He has spent the last 20, 25 years working on models. Liama and others are coming from his lab at Meta. What he's telling you is that an LLM, which is basically a model that predicts text, is never going to be, or it's going to be like a kid, but it's not going to be able to understand the world because it's only text and it's prediction of text. So what he says, and I think is quite interesting, is that the next models are not going to be able to predict just text, but to predict actions. We stuck with LLM for now. Multimodal, which I mentioned earlier, which is very interesting. But they're not reasoning as such, purely. And they kind of stuck with this language concept. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wish I knew the answer to that question, by the way. Well, I don't have a crystal ball.
Okay.
Uh, and there are new technologies. I don't follow it like super deep, but I follow quite a few people on X who are, bubbling up some of the latest research, and there are other techniques who are being worked on. So I don't think we're going to be stuck with LLM forever. It will be one of the stepping stone to, we're moving to our AGI and ASI, and LLM was that first mind blowing, because it was mind blowing 3 years ago. Initial step into this brand new
could you
world.
at least maybe guess what will happen next, or this and next year, like in terms of?
I don't think anyone can honestly, I don't think anyone can make, I mean, everybody can bullshit and make bullshit predictions, but I don't think anyone can really very much, use strong arguments for their prediction.
Gartner, no, every single year.
Nah.
Everybody are following because they know.
Yeah. When you see how exponential innovation is, it's very, very difficult to make any kind of prediction. I remember the first developer conference from OpenAI. Sam Altman went on stage, and it was the first one, and he said, "What we're going to show you today is going to look stupid in 1 year." We had we didn't know what they were going to announce and all that, and that was 2 years ago, because I think the first dev conference was after 1 year. Yeah. So I think voice is going to take over. That's guarantee.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm already like using less and less keyboards and mouse, and I'm talking more. Not just talking, but I mean, like two ways talking. Sorry, bidirectional. That's the word. So that, and vision. And I think what again Meta is doing with their glasses is, even though Zuckerberg looked a bit stupid with his used frame, it's quite interesting. because then you combine understanding of the world with the vision and the audio, understanding of and having dialogue and knowledge. So this is the new, these are going to be the new interface. Your great grown children will laugh at you because you were using a mouse. They probably will have no idea what a mouse is. It's like when you show a kid a floppy disk today.
Yeah.
What's a floppy
That's
disk?
true.
Actually, I need to agree or have to
Funny
agree
one.
because I use ChatGPT in this voice and video mode in shop. If you are abroad,
Yeah.
I was searching for
Yeah.
some good wine.
Yeah.
So I turn on the
Yeah.
camera and just scan what's there. And it says that wine over there. And it was voice and video via ChatGPT and it worked. So
Yeah.
I tried it and I don't know. I don't remember
I know.
whether the wine was good enough, but at least it tried to, try to help me.
Because you order a lot of wine.
And so, take this and then add to that higher bandwidth and miniaturization. So you're putting together, because technology is just a to assemble multi-technology. Yeah. So take that, all those trends all together, and try to imagine what kind of I'm really curious to know what's the device that OpenAI is secretly working on. We know it's not a phone.
I heard that it'll be. I
we
heard
don't know
that
it.
it'll be pen,
Sorry,
but it might be it might be just rumor. I don't know.
a pen.
Yeah, but
I have no idea. I don't know. I'm curious. I like, and hopefully I will be blown away, because that's what I'm a very, very deep. That's one thing I didn't say when you asked me to intro myself. I'm a total geek, and a total. Even though I spend my life in business, I'm from training, I'm a geek and I'm a techie, and I just love technology. Not for the sake of technology, but for what it can do, and
true.
I just love it. Sorry.
But if I can maybe adjust what I see, what I see currently, what is really changing is the people start, and like not only IT people, but the majority of people start like trusting, the AI. Sometimes over trusting. Yeah, that if you see 1 or 2 years, and I don't know when the ChatGPT started, the majority of people were 3 years. That, oh, no, don't trust AI, that is hallucinating, is bullshit. Still, you can facing hallucination. But I see many people that they are more, how to say, discussing with ChatGPT like with the doctors or something like that, because ChatGPT know better than doctor. In some cases, maybe it's true. I'm not saying no. I also using for that cases that I still start thinking not so really healthy, that I am asking that what is the best for me. But this is what I'm saying, that the people start really trust, to these models. I don't know what will happen in next 1 or 2 years. Yeah.
Of course. Whenever a new technology comes out and someone dismisses it,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, these people are short-sighted and narrow-minded, and they do not understand that technology and innovation is an ongoing thing. And I'll give you one example, which I absolutely love, and I use that very often. So I'm old enough to remember when the first iPhone came out. That's not such a long time ago. iPhone 1. You probably saw the images, the video of Steve Jobs on stage, and the phone, the iPhone. Everybody went crazy. And then there was some bloggers, was the very, very fashionable, the bloggers back then. And a lot of bloggers were saying, it's rubbish. And that today you can copy paste between your phone and your computer, by the way, these people just think the technology is frozen in time, and that you got something and that you stuck with it for the next 30 years. But you have to understand where things are going. What, iPhone has put us on a set of rails, which have allowed to build a whole new industry, whole new services. How would you do without Uber? How would you do without Google Maps. How would you do
Mhm.
with, some of those apps? But no, you can't do copy paste, so it's shit. And for that reason, I don't read opinion piece usually by people, because I'm like, yeah, whatever your opinion is, I'm just gonna stick to the facts, and that's my, scientist side. Stick to the facts and imagine and think about
Okay.
trends
I will
and
try to.
directions. And it's super
Yeah.
important. And the last point, it's super important, and it's super important for my job, because I have to find and invest in startups who are looking towards the future, not,
This is a great point, because I have one more question. I won't give up on this short prediction, and I'll try to push once more. Yeah,
I gave you something. I gave you
getting
something.
there.
Yeah.
So, if we are talking about the startups, you are scouting a lot of startups to bring them to the acceleration and help them to scale. So
Yeah.
my question would be, what AI startups you saw, or what trends or patterns you could see there last, I don't know, 12 or 18 months when you are reviewing these startups? Is there anything apart from the voice you mentioned and these multimodal opportunities, and we maybe discuss also some security threats and maybe lack of maturity? But is there anything else you could maybe say you can see last months?
Again, and I like to take the parallel with databases. It's like you would ask someone, "Do you see any trend in databases startups?" It's just a tech. It's just a layer. It's just a piece of the stack. So yeah, I see relational databases, or I see object databases, or I see graph. I see NoSQL. That's what I see. So for it's not so much about, do they use LLM? Do they use RAG? Do they use some NLP techniques or
Yeah,
whatever?
but
It's
that
what
might
they
be
do
also
with
an
it.
interesting,
That
for
is,
me at least, interesting information.
yeah. So today it's all about LLM. Everything is what's so-called LLM wrappers, basically, which I don't like this expression, but basically businesses built on top of LLMs using, hopefully,
Because
proprietary
I would expect, or what
knowledge.
would be interesting for me to see,
Yeah.
maybe some business domain which was abandoned, now starting to scaling up, or is there anything like, it do not necessarily need to be technically or tech related?
Yeah, no. Okay, so I mean, we see so many application in so many industries. Really every industry is impacted. So maybe that's, yeah. I'm
Okay.
afraid I'm not going to
Okay,
give you
no
an
problem.
answer.
I was just
Like,
trying to. I try one more shot to
sure.
find out whether there is
Yeah.
anything special or specific, let's say.
And anyway, I want to be
You want to be
surprised.
surprised, so you don't see the patterns, but you prefer to have
I want to.
some.
I don't. Yeah, I don't want to open a deck and already
Uh-huh.
know what's going to be in the deck. I want to be taken apart by the deck. I want to go like, right, we can do that. I want to talk to those guys rather than,
Okay,
oh
so
yeah,
just for
another
my
one.
curiosity, how many decks you see
Okay.
a year? How many startups?
So we see between 300 and 600
Uh-huh.
decks per year. Depends on the year. It depends if we're super active
Uh-huh.
on scouting or not. It's between 1 and 2 per working days. Uh,
How it works? Maybe I'm
so
drifting
yeah,
from the AI
and
topic, but I'm
we
interested how it works. Are you approaching them,
Yeah.
so you need to find them, or they find you, or vice versa? Uh-huh.
both. So they come to
Uh-huh.
us. They are referred to us. We find them.
Uh-huh.
Ultimately, yeah. some people like you will say, hey, I
Mhm.
was in Startup Yard and it was cool, and Cedric is crazy, you should give it a shot. And I always say to people I meet, look, apply to the program. It's not going to cost you anything, just maybe like 5 minutes of your time. And worst case or best case, we might actually accept you, and that could potentially change the direction of your business. So
And you said that there are more than 300
between
startups you
3 and
saw.
3 and 600, yeah.
Yeah. And in how many cases you had like this wow effect?
Only
that,
me.
whoa,
Only me.
This is
Well,
super.
Yeah. But so only Marcel. I'm looking for
give me
Marcel
another
again.
one.
No.
Oh, come on.
To give you an idea, from these 3 to 600 per year, we accept 6 to 8 of those in the program.
I would expect, yeah, okay.
Right. And usually when the one we accept are the one where I go, wow. I love it. And it could be the tech, it could be the founder. It's usually a combination of both. I mean, there are exceptions like
I
Marcel.
was a bit
We don't know why
pushing.
we did that, but yeah, it's there is more pass than in. And again, back to the question you were asking earlier about what I want to see disappeared. I want to see the tourists.
Like in Prague one.
What I call them the startup tourists. The startup tourists.
Okay.
So now there's a new thing, and I can spot that miles away. Is the fully generated AI, fully AI generated deck.
Okay.
So we had, and that's a typical example of what I call the tourist. We had a deck. They're going to revolutionize payment worldwide, blah, 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 blockchain, da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da.
Of course.
Every single buzzword that you can imagine was there. And you could smell ChatGPT all the way through the deck. And then, so you look at the LinkedIn profile of the founder, and he's a real estate guy.
Yeah, sometimes it happens.
He gets the rejection email like automatically. Sorry, but nothing. I mean, I don't want to insult any real estate person, but you're not going to change the monetary world with blockchain if you're a real estate person. And anyway, so these are what they call the tourists.
Okay.
There's a lot of them. Then there's the people who are completely disconnected with reality as well. Again, the one who really matter are the one who really care about the problem.
I will pick up one
fix.
more topic which is slightly related, or I will try to transition there. We were thinking also that it would be nice topic to discuss about how to measure AI impact, because people are crazy about and whether even measure it. Because people are crazy about applying or throwing AI on anything without thinking whether this would be valuable or what are the use cases. And maybe this is kind of enterprise or corporation kind of approach, but we could see a lot of initiatives where people just trying to put AI everywhere and then sometimes struggling. They are maybe excited about some nice hello world or some baby steps, but some people say, okay, how many people I can fire, or how many millions it brings me that into the EBITDA or profit. Yeah. So what's your thoughts about this AI?
Yeah. And the C-level is asking that you're right. Tell me the hard data, the number. We save 20% with AI, with those data. That how to measure it. That
Yeah. Well, Matt Kinsey said that about 20% of the company they're working with already report a tangible impact on value creation. There's a few, for example, BNY Mellon, which is a bank in the US. They have 100
Mhm.
digital employees and
Mhm.
so agents. And but so by the way, the next trend is to call those AI agent employees or digital employees. You're going to hear that a lot more in the coming months. They have 117 AI solution in production, and they've already cut a lot of time and a lot of cost. I think people need to
This is
experiment
the thing. I
anyway,
think you are now picking up
because
or pulling out the exceptional examples where there are the success stories, but typical like real life
yeah,
use cases is often like, let's try
yeah,
to do something with it. So
yeah.
how to
How many people kill themselves before we had planes?
Okay, that's pretty interesting idea. So
No, I'm asking you. Do you think the first plane flew on its own and flew the first time and nobody died? The
it's
Wright
same with
brothers, right?
electricity,
That's
probably. No,
who
it
they
can
were.
also
I think the
kills
first one.
if you don't use it properly. So maybe good metaphor, but
Yeah. So what? You're not gonna experiment because you're scared that the experiment is gonna fail? That is so backward thinking that I would fire that C-level immediately. That's how. Oh no, we can't try because we might fail. Sorry, I'm an entrepreneur. That's by definition what I would. It's the opposite. Like I'm gonna
yeah.
try and see if I'm gonna
But I
fail or
think a lot of
not.
enterprises are there to protect what they built in past rather than double.
Definitely.
You know, if you are, I don't want to mention, but I don't know. Yeah, some big company with
Yeah,
thousands
but
of
they're gonna
employees.
lose.
No, mention, you can say.
They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose to the new ones. Just like Skype killed long distance businesses,
Hmm,
right?
that's
I
true.
mean, you used to pay a fortune to make a long distance call. Now it's free. Just like uh, iTunes and Spotify killed albums
Hmm,
and sales and DVDs,
hmm,
right? I could probably go on and on and on like this. The big company, if they're not experimenting, they're not trying within sandbox, within safe environments, slowly adopting the technology, which is inevitable anyway, they're gonna be killed. Spotify was once one guy in a garage, if you saw the documentary.
Yeah,
Skype, 3 guys in a garage.
So to
They took
succeed, we need to have some
enormous
garage
industry
also with
over
AI.
because because they were not scared to experiment with technology. And the first version didn't work quite well, but
So going back
So
to the question about the AI impact, there are some exceptional examples, but to get there, you need to start experiment. If I could summarize what you was.
yeah, of course. It's not a magic bullet, silver lining. You have to treat this, and this is how I treat AI. It's my sparring partner. It's the junior me. It's the Cedric +1, +2, +3, +4. At any point in time, there's a few of me actually doing stuff. And I'm in control, I'm in charge of that, and they report to me. And so I now can work in parallel, I can have in parallel multiple activities rather than serializing what I'm doing. And why am I saying that?
You're talking about
I don't know why am I saying that, but yeah. So it's about yeah. So it's not the silver bullet. It's a sparring partner. You have to treat that as your enhancer, not your replacement.
but you back maybe to the question. We start with the measurement. You said that we need to experiment, and now you can imagine. I will tell to board guys. I would like to do experiments. I needed 200K. And okay, right, tell me that what you then you need to save some money, or we can find some people because you would like to do some experiments. If the experiment will fail, or you see what is like happening now, every single day you see like 2-3 new approaches how to do AI, that how to, and okay, prepare the business case. Everybody is starting, tell me the business case. That is the crazy part, how to start building the business case.
That's why startup move fast and big companies don't.
Okay, I'll move.
And that's why I love. That's why I love
Okay, I'll move
startups.
on now to the maybe final questions, which might be a bit relaxing. Hopefully, we'll see. And it's as you said, you are building your buddies or some second, third, and fourth Cedric. What kind of tool you would
clothes.
maybe mention or recommend, or you are excited about, or experimenting with, or using long term? Any advice? I think something practical. Maybe give us some tools like I use email, or I don't know, mobile, or maybe something more advanced or fancy. Any interesting tools you saw, you want to try, or you already tried?
Okay, so if I see a tool I like, I try. That's the number now with all the one-click logging through Oath from Google. I literally try everything that I see, but like everybody else, actually. So which is actually a big problem for those startups because they see a huge spike, and then the big problem is retention. So
Yeah, that's true.
what do I use all the time? Granola, the note-taking app. It's not the only note-taking app in the world, but I use Granola because it's a very good
Did you try also
note-taking
using
app.
it with different languages than English? Because I feel like it's failing, at least for me.
Yeah, French is good. French is good.
Nah.
Yeah, and
I didn't try
especially
Czech,
when I have
but
a
with
call with
French,
Czech
it's
and Slovaks talking each other, sometimes it's pretty messed up.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, sorry, I know. Which tools for Czech people should I recommend? Czech and
Guys,
Slovak people should I
let's
recommend?
move on from this
I
topic. Let's move
tried
on.
also the AI notes. Yeah, I tried
Uh,
also AI notes through Microsoft Teams in Slovak.
Yeah.
And the result was a little bit crazy because there was like summary from this Slovak, notes and transcription that somebody needs to pay some gift for me, etc. It looks like that me as a manager, I'm like expecting some gift and something like this. That in Slovak in Czech is not working really well.
Okay, so some more tools you would recommend mention. This is interesting. At least for me, I will give it a try again.
For speech to text. So if you, I like the speech to text from 11 Labs, and it actually works very good in Czech. So if you have a recording in Czech, you give it to speech to text 11 Lab, and it does a good job. I know that because a friend of mine was asking me, and I said, try this one. So that's specific use case for Czech people. What else do I use? I recently fell in love with Google AI
Could you
Studio.
say some? Could you
which
maybe
I
share
didn't
some use
really know.
cases
Sorry?
for it? Are you using it? Because there are multiple, if I understood it well.
Well, Google AI Studio is just like a studio within it you have Gemini, you have Veo, you have Nano Banana, and you have full IDE. And so I started to play with the IDE, and I built an app. And honestly, I think 2 or 3 prompts, and I had my web app running.
So it was for
And I was like,
vibe coding is your use case, or are you using it for some?
Yeah, vibe coding. Well, so my big thing right now, if you want to know, is that we are entering the time of software on demand. Is that what? And I have experienced it for myself. And again, it's not because we couldn't do copy paste that it's bad, right? So whenever you will need to do something, instead of thinking, is there an app for that? Go to Google, search a SaaS, pay €10. you will just summon the spirit of software who will come in your computer and boom, it will be built. It will do what you want it to do. And then you will throw it away because you have achieved what you wanted to achieve. That is what's going to happen.
Okay.
Do you want
Maybe we
prediction?
should stop
That.
here because I think it's like a closing idea. I don't know whether even to continue. So
That's the topic
okay.
of my Check Crunch thing I was talking about.
Good. We
So
should
you can
read
read
that.
that.
We will also
Yeah.
add the link to that
Oh, yeah.
under the.
You know, you will have you're going to have a mobile app, and you will be able to ask the mobile app to build a new feature
Interesting.
instead of waiting for the
Yeah, and when
developer
this
to
will
build the
happen?
feature and ship it. Well, it's happening
Okay.
now already.
Oh.
You know, not in phone and
Yeah,
not
I
in
know that
mobile
there's a lot
apps,
of such
yeah.
like this vibe
There's a
coding is
guy.
around, but I think it's not standardized or
There's
stabilized
a guy. Yeah,
in a way.
I'm following some guys on. Sorry, I'm following some guys on Twitter, and someone recreated Typeform, which is a multi-billion-dollar SaaS company, in 35 minutes. And there is someone at the moment who's pushing a new mobile app to the Apple App Store every 35 seconds.
But this is a huge topic. I don't think we will fit it in. Yeah,
Well, I know where
the
you're
one
going
is the
now. I
building
know where you're
versus
going now.
distribution. No, that's the big topic to discuss. Maybe next time.
Of course.
Yeah, but you know, just one question from my side, because we discussed this topic that you are receiving a lot of now shits generated by ChatGPT, this deck,
Yeah.
etc. And now with this shit came also some vibe coded prototype, which is sometimes also shit.
Of course.
How you look this? That's you know that do you
Welcome.
sending some feedback those people because they don't have no clue what they are
Welcome to our
preparing?
house.
They're preparing vibe coded something while generated by some deck. What you
Yeah.
can recommend those people?
Well, so it's not so black and white. I mean, we had the case of a founder who sent us a lovable link for his that was his demo, so that we could see the demo. And I'm not going to dismiss that. You know, building a company requires having a product, selling the product. The way you build the product doesn't matter to me because it's gone. You know, it's not going to be, it's just going to be generated now. So what matters to me now is your ability to sell it. Is your ability to hire people? Is your ability to convince people? Is your ability to sell a story? Is your ability to distribute? Is your ability to generate that into? So you can take two, and the history of our industry is full of those. You can take two identical products, or three or four, and one will succeed. And it might not be the best technically product that was built, but was the one that was the best marketed, had the smartest way to market, and obviously had the best retention as well. So that's on the product. But ultimately, if I always say, I always make the joke that if only the best product would succeed, we would never have had Microsoft.
Oh man. Okay.
I know it's bad. But they've
Yeah,
got a long
this
way
is the
now.
different Microsoft these days, as you are. As it is in your.
Yeah. It's an old joke. It's an old joke. It's a joke I was doing 20 years ago.
No, because Microsoft is also the example that from how to say like dying company to build, to transform to like the
What they've
big
done,
player again.
Yeah,
what
but
they've done in
I'm
the
not
past
very
5 years is
strict
very
about this.
impressive, I have to say.
I'm not very strict about these topics, but I know a lot of people loving the Slack and hate the Teams. But look at the marketing power or distribution or whatever, the ability to deliver that tool into the masses, and Teams is winning that.
Absolutely.
That's not about the product itself.
I mean, look at
I would say they
look at
are even. Some people would say teams
exactly.
are is shit and the Slack is brilliant. I'm not so strict in the opinion, but you can see who is the winning,
Look at the
who
market
has the
share.
bigger user base. So
Look,
I agree.
and this is what Internet Explorer did to Netscape.
yeah, it's too far. It's history.
So they did it.
Don't remember.
I know. You don't. For those of you who remember, you know,
Yeah,
that's
for
what
some
they
people,
did.
use ChatGPT to ask what does it mean Internet
Yeah,
Explorer.
exactly. If you're not sure what he's talking about,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
ask Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And so Microsoft did it to Netscape with Internet Explorer. Now they did it to Slack with Teams, of course. And the
Okay.
market share, when you look at the graph,
So
it's like
Microsoft is good.
yeah. And I think there's a huge. I was actually thinking about this the other day. There's a huge opportunity for a new player to enter with a light Slack, because now Slack has
Because now it's
become so
Salesforce, no?
bloated.
It's not the Slack
that
anymore. It's part or Cisco or Salesforce. I don't know. It was acquired by some
Really?
big player.
yeah, it's like it does too much. Like you need to go back to the basics. So I think there is an opportunity for someone to enter that space and go lightweight and just answer one simple problem, not trying to be everything for everyone, which is what happens. You know that you probably don't know that joke, but how do you kill a startup? You sell it to a big company.
We have a few such
Ooh.
examples. Yeah.
Of
Okay,
course.
cool. Let's wrapping up.
Is it? It's not a joke. It's not a joke.
It's time. So thank you very much
Yes.
for joining. It was pretty interesting topics we discussed today. We are more in testing, typically. So this series show will be special. I hope people learn a lot, especially our audience. It's
Definitely.
focused on some different topics. So this is.
But special
Thank
guest,
you very much for
special
joining
episode,
us.
you know?
We typically ask last question, which is, would you like to promote or compliment something or someone apart from the
Or recommend.
TechCrunch article you are just publishing these days?
Obviously, it just happened to be published today, like an hour before, 20 minutes before we talked, and it was on that topic. But no, if there's anyone who's building a very smart software solution and needs help, that's what we do at Startup Yard. So don't hesitate. We're nice
Thank you very
people.
much for joining us today. You're right. Would you add something?
Thank you for having me.